Wow, look at all this useless crap. It's been about a year since I did my last toy room video, so I think there's definitely been some updates. I got some new stuff. Some stuff has left. I kind of keep it cycling pretty regularly. You do have to eventually get rid of some things, kind of curate it a little bit, but let's not get into all that. That's just a bunch of nonsense. The main point is that there is a lot more crap that I gotta show you, because that's the only way I can justify getting this shit. You in? Let's do it. We'll start with the seductive skeleton above my door and move over to here. I don't have a lot of Marvel related things, but I got this recently. I was really into the X-Men movies when they first started coming out. That's kind of what got me into Marvel at all. Batman was really the only superhero that I cared about before that point. So, and I got the Toad figure because he was my favorite character back in the day. Just love that he's like a gross, slimy, weird thing. So get that back up there. It does kill me. You can't get this thing to hang perfect because like that plastic circle kind of throws the weight off a bit. So that's a little annoying. But that's one of the few Marvel things that I have. Oh, we got a killer clown mask hanging on the wall. That's pretty neat. I feel like these things are almost made to just hang on the wall. Like yeah, you can wear them, but they're just so perfect for this. Next, I'm going to show, this early in the video, probably my prized possession. Got to step back for it. You've been seeing it back there. Here it is. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Mountain Dew Pitch Black 2 cardboard standee. I have no idea, like what stores would have had this thing. I can't find any information on this thing. You know, just know that it is official Creature from the Black Lagoon stuff, advertising Mountain Dew. So I guess this is probably the tail end of Universal's little connection with Pepsi, basically, Pepsi and Doritos. That was like a whole era. I feel like this was probably towards the end of that. But yeah, again, I don't know if I saw a year on it or not. Do you see anything? Huh? Yeah? Are you gonna help me do the video? Oh, that's so nice. Okay, let's move on. But yeah, this thing is just awesome. I got that for 60 bucks. I can't find any of them on eBay or anything. I've looked before because I knew they existed, but I found this one at a yard sale, not a yard sale, a flea market. That's what it was. I find this crap at all kinds of different places: yard sales, antique malls, flea markets. Sometimes at eBay. eBay's the most boring place to find these things after you get so much crap, but yeah, anyway. Cool. Muppets from Space Kermit. This is kind of like my comic book rack right now. We won't get into all that, but I'll kind of show you what's up front there. Got some plushies. I love like mascot characters, any kind of merch for that. So we got like the A&W Bear, Rudy the Root Bear, Grimace, Energizer Bunny. Really into those things. Here's like the only other Marvel thing that I have. It's the McDonald's Dr. Octopus figure from Did I say McDonald's already? Oh man, I'm just getting this video started. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's another one of my favorite Marvel characters. So had to have that. Just give you a look. I don't think I need to do detailed commentary on everything, but there's a Haunted Mansion model kit reissue. So these are, I think it's the Haunted Manor or Phantom Manor, whatever the reissue versions were called, because they didn't have the rights to call it Haunted Mansion, but you can totally tell these are Haunted Mansion characters. And I got another one of those down here. Again, you can really see the Haunted Mansion connection on this one. These model kits, I mean, I pretty much hand paint all the model kits that I have, so it's just like a really fun thing for me to do. So I hand painted these. The ghosts do glow in the dark. I kept like a very thin layer of paint on them to give them like a gritty detail, but the glow in the dark stuff still comes through. Got some, most of these are reissues of like older kits. So a lot of these you're seeing were originally from like the 60s or 70s, but these are like reissues from like the 2000s to the current decade. With the exception of this Dracula. This one is actually a glow-in-the-dark kit from the 70s. And I did not paint this one. Some kid probably painted that back in the day, and I just left it like that because it's kind of charming to me. Pull back and show the Seed of Chucky poster. This is, I believe, an actual poster from like a movie theater, so that's pretty cool. This is my like old TV with like a VCR, and I keep all the VHSs over here. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'll give you a quick look at kind of what I have here. So that's fun. Got this is really cool, a Dr. Satan Christmas tree ornament. So yeah, I've always kind of loved this character. I wish there was more of him in the movie, but oh well. He's just such a cool design. Over here is a Saw poster. I think they handed these out for a 10th anniversary screening. I found this at a yard sale. Guy had like a whole stack of them for $3, so I just got it. Of course, there's a big glare on it. This also came from a movie theater. They were handing these out. This was earlier this year for halfway to Halloween. They were showing a bunch of Blumhouse movies. So that was actually my first time getting to see Insidious, was earlier this year. I'd never seen it before. So that was cool, I guess. We'll backtrack a little bit and show you some of the things up here. Some plushies. This NECA alien is such a piece of shit. Like, it looks cool right now, but it is impossible to make stand up. The only reason he's standing right now is because his tail is like wrapped behind Pinhead over here. And up here we have some Screamin' model kits. These are vinyl model kits, mainly from like the 80s and 90s. Once again, I painted all of these. Some of these I bought pre-painted, but it was like a really shitty job, so I redid it. Pinhead, I actually had to buy a pack of pins, and he was missing all the pins, so I had to get replacement ones just from like Walmart. And I'd say they look pretty good. So my Leatherface, I did a whole video talking about this one, but that was a full restoration job of like fixing the crappy paint job and building a new chain. He didn't have the chainsaw, so I had to like build one from scratch. And I think it looks okay. Got a Freddy Krueger water squirter from the 80s. Beetlejuice mug. Typically don't drink out of giant mugs, so I just kind of use them for decoration and other things. Headless Horseman plushie. Got a werewolf model kit right there. Oh, there's just so much crap. Again, I can't really make commentary out of everything. Try to point out highlights like the Clash of the Titans figures. Got some Disney Hunchback toys from Burger King. It's one of my favorite Disney animated films, and it kind of fits in with everything else, all the kind of dark and gothic vibes. There's another Dracula model kit, kind of like the one over there. It's the same mold basically, but that is a reissue from the 90s. It's an Illuminator kit. my battery's about to die, so I'm gonna have to plug in soon. And we're back. I'm trying not to like do a bunch of editing on this because honestly I'm overworking myself with a bunch of video projects. So deal with the roughness, I suppose. But that's a Boo Bucket from a few years ago. I think it was 2022. McDonald's brought back the Boo Bucket, so that's one of those. I only have that one. I didn't really want the full set. I just wanted one just for representation, I guess. But funny enough, my cousin was trying to collect all three of them, and she had the Ghost and the Witch. And then one day, I just found it in my front yard. Somebody must have thrown it out of their car or something. I found the pumpkin bucket, and I washed it off and gave it to her. So that was just a weird bit of luck. Here is a Mummy playset from the '99 movie with Brendan Fraser. See the figures in there. That's pretty cool. This line had some really cool toys that I was completely unaware of. Like, I loved this movie so much when I was a kid, and it blows my mind that the toys just went past my radar because they were awesome. I'm like low-key upset about that. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to step on my fucking bed here just to get a good look at the rest of this stuff. So we got up here mostly just random Halloween knickknacks. Point out some highlights. There's a monster in my pocket, Phantom of the Opera. Phantom's always one of my favorite characters, so if there's anything related to him, I go for it usually. Got one of the newer Boglins hanging out in there. This is a vintage blow mold. I forget the exact year, but that's an old one. This is a, what is it? Haunted Haulers. These kind of like spooky cars that you press down on that little tombstone thing and it launches them. It's kind of neat. And you saw one of the other, they come with these little skeleton guys. So those are neat. Got this vintage witch. She kind of works still. She makes noise and her eyes lights up. I think she's supposed to move, but that doesn't work anymore. But it looks like she might be from the 80s, maybe 90s. I'm not totally sure, but it definitely looks pretty old. One of our neighbors just gave that to me one day because he knew I did a lot of Halloween stuff. So that was very awesome, very nice. And I do take her out around the Halloween season. You can see some vintage Mr. Potato Heads back here. Those are pretty cool. I love Mr. Potato Head. I've just always been fascinated by it. That was one of my big obsessions as a kid. I didn't even mention there's a McNugget Buddy. Those are always a big deal. So I got that one. McNugget Buddies are another one of those things. I don't really want all of them. I just kind of wanted at least one. So I got that kind of Godzilla. And I think it says it's a dragon, but it's Godzilla, obviously. Okay, so anyway, the 60s era Mr. Potato Heads. This is kind of when they introduced the plastic head. You had to actually get a real potato or some kind of fruit or vegetable before. Up here we have Crusher. This is a toy from the late 70s. That's probably one of the more expensive things that I have. I think he was like 90 bucks. I usually don't splurge that much on one thing, but I was just in a mood that day. I was like, oh, let's just go for it. It's so cool. There's like a valve. You release the air out of them so you can crush them. Then you close the valve so he stays smushed. Then you open it up again, and he like grows back to his normal shape. It's kind of neat. I don't mess with it much because he's so old. I just don't want to break it. Then we got a creepy clown back there. There's not a lot to say about that. There's just Halloween stuff up the ass. Got this Michael Myers cutout last year. And yep, he just stands right over me while I'm sleeping, you know. It's very blissful and nice. We head over here, got this Crypt Keeper with like a little flickering light bulb on his candle. I'm pretty sure that's from the 90s, but it still works, so that's pretty incredible. Love that. Got various Mego figures up here. I'm very into the Megos. These are all like the newer ones that have been coming out. And then back here, these are not Megos, these are Sideshow figures. So just kind of wherever things fit, you know. Got a Metaluna Mutant Piggy Bank. Jason Mask. This is actually an IT, officially licensed IT balloon light. Did I get that? Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Movie Maniacs, Norman Bates. I love the Movie Maniacs line. I feel like no matter where I'm at with collecting, I have to have at least some of those. They're such a big deal when I was like first getting into this hobby. And I was first discovering like the Freddy and Jason and Michael movies and all that stuff. It was a big deal. So those mean a lot. These are actually like tattoo flash sheets right here. This is some artwork that my cousin did. She does that kind of stuff. All right, I'm gonna go to the bottom here, and we're gonna just kind of work our way up. So we got some Spawn figures, one of the few comic book lines that I'm like really into like following. So yeah, really love the Spawn stuff. And then right after Spawn, you know, Batman is probably like number 2 for me. So, and there's a lot more Batman collectibles to obtain. That Penguin is a Mego figure as well. That's like an official from like the 70s, I think. He's in pretty rough shape, as you can see. He's missing his arms, but he was pretty cheap, so whatever. Just kind of give a good look at all this stuff. I feel like I could just talk for hours about everything on here. So I'm trying not to do that. We just want to give you a general look at all the crap that I've obtained since last year. Then this shelf is kind of like miscellaneous horror movie and video game merch. So I don't do a lot of video game stuff. It's kind of like a newer thing that I'm trying to get more into. But yeah, they're kind of frustrating. But there's some Resident Evil 4 and 5 things in here. In terms of Resident Evil, those are the only games that I really like in the series, which might be a little blasphemous for some people to hear. I don't know. I mean, you're really going to love me when I say I just flat out can't stand the first game. Just do not understand the appeal of that at all. But again, I'm not really a video game person, but I've tried to kind of explore the medium more. Got another Movie Maniacs figure right here. It's a Leatherface. Got the Max Effects Freddy Krueger. This thing is just so cool. Love it. Got Art the Clown that you put him in like cold water and then blood splatters will appear on him. So that's pretty awesome. This little Sam right here is like a, pretty sure that's like a handcrafted thing. I bought that at a convention. This lady just makes these little figures. They all have this kind of like design. They're really cute. I just love it. So I love to have something that's like more like a handcrafted thing in there. It's a candy tin. Got a few more video game characters. I'm not like super huge into these like indie horror games so much, but I thought like, oh, they're okay. I guess that was before I discovered Resident Evil 4 and also the Arkham Asylum series. those are like the two video game franchises I'm probably the most obsessed with. And I am very hard to please when it comes to video games. Some House of a Thousand Corpses figures. These are the ones, if you get the whole set, you can build tiny. So, got just those two so far. Alright, I think we get the gist with that. Let's move up to the next part here. This is pretty much all Universal Monsters. At one point in time, I did try to just... Oh, my mole man. It's falling over here. Okay, he's probably going to fall down again. Yeah, okay, well... okay, there, it's good enough. At one point in time, when I was trying to minimalize my collection, I thought maybe I'll just focus on Universal Monsters, and because they're kind of one of my favorite things, so I was like, we'll just get those and not worry about collecting other knickknacks. And I quickly realized that just wasn't going to work for me and my chaotic lifestyle, but whatever. So got the Burger King figures, those are classic. More of the Sideshow figures. Up here we have some of the Jack in the Box, not some of the Jack in the Box toys, but all of them actually. It took me a while, but I managed to find all of these things on eBay. You know, I said kind of get stuff on eBay is kind of boring earlier, but these were a challenge to find all of them. So, they're all in there. Most of them still work. Some of them, like the Bride of Frankenstein, she's supposed to like make noise, but she doesn't work anymore. I think she like screamed or something, but I don't know. That Dracula was pretty expensive to get. That's the most expensive of the Sideshow figures. I don't think they made a lot of him. I know merchandise with Lugosi's likeness is kind of uncommon, so maybe that has something to do with it. And you'll notice I don't have a lot of Funko Pops. I think I did have a yeah, Billy from Hocus Pocus. Had to have at least something from Hocus Pocus, but got one of the Universal Monsters, he's the Invisible Man, and that's about it. Not a huge Funko Pop fan, but they're significant enough in our culture, I'll have at least some. You can kind of see back here the Valentine's Day cards. Got a box of those. They're kind of shoved back there. It's another Burger King toy. That Phantom of the Opera is Jack in the Box. He was the hardest to find of the Jack in the Box toys. So much stuff. Goodness. Moving over to my bookshelf now. I have the Aurora Guillotine. That's a reissue, obviously, but I did a whole video on that, and it does work. They're kind of tricky to make work, but this one I am able to chop the little guy's head off. See it in there. Got another Spawn figure. That's Malebolgia. This is from the Dent Schoolhouse. This is a local haunted house attraction. He's kind of like the mascot, sort of. He's like a janitor that is killing kids and stuff. Pretty fucked up, I guess, but yep. It's kind of like a big attraction around here. Got a bunch of books. I won't go super into those. This is kind of like a little It corner. Got the first edition right there. Pretty sure it's a first edition. I mean, I'm not an expert on that, but I think it is. And then a little coffee mug and the little solar head knocker thing. A lot more paperback books up here, and then I have these pirate model kits. They all have like a some sort of like an action feature, the move. This one doesn't work super great. They're kind of a little hit or miss sometimes. You really gotta like be careful when you put these together, but I mainly want them for display purposes. And again, I painted these myself. I love painting these things, and just like the Haunted Mansion ones, the skeletons glow in the dark. Oh, got a little Jaws aquarium decoration up there. Little bendy skeleton. I like to have just like a few little goofy things like this around. Not like a valuable, rare item, just like a goofy little thing. I don't know. I'm try my best to give you a good look up here. And that's my Puppet Master trunk. So those are all like the 90s Puppet Master figures. A lot of those are from my childhood. That's how long I've been in the Puppet Master. Like this was the first one. That's the oldest thing that I still have, is this Pinhead. I sold a lot of my old collection years ago and then started recollecting, but that is a holdover. That's currently the oldest thing that I still have from like the late 90s. I think I got that. Late 90s, early 2000s, whenever it was. But the trunk itself is all custom built. It was like a camera case that I gutted out and turned into this thing. I got my aunt to make the curtains because she's good at like sewing and stuff, so that's all just awesome. I really love how that came out. I want to try and show you everybody we got back here. And I got this Beetlejuice playset. I did a video on that if you want a better look. It's like an 80s Beetlejuice figure. Then the rest of this is mainly kind of like my kaiju collection. Got a massive Godzilla. Would love to get more kind of Godzilla related stuff. That's another one of my big obsessions. But it's looking pretty good so far. Got another Spawn figure. Once again, it's Malebolgia in the box still. I don't get a lot of stuff in the box. I'm kind of like picky choosy. Because as you can see, I prefer to have things just like cluttered on a shelf. That looks better to me. But I like a few things in the box, just here and there. This is a promotional King Kong cup for the latest Godzilla Kong movie from like the Legendary series. Godzilla X Kong, I think, something. I haven't even seen it, but I thought the cup was cool. We got a Primal Rage figure. Once again, not a huge video game guy, but I kind of liked that one when I played it once years ago. I love the aesthetic, especially when I found out they actually used like stop motion puppets to create all of the characters. That was really neat how they were able to do that with a video game. It's very fascinating. This one is Slash Fang. He's actually from the second game, which was never officially released. But you can get bootlegs, I guess. I don't really know how to do that stuff, but I had this toy when I was a kid, before I even knew what the game was, and you know, I just like feline characters and stuff, so yeah. I don't get a lot of autographs or signatures, but I like to get stuff from like horror movie hosts, so I got Mr. Lobo and Elvira right there. And then this guy I just ran into at a convention, Freezer Mortis, so he just kind of gave me that for free, though. That was neat. Obviously, I had to wait in line and get an Elvira signature. And then I bought some merch from Mr. Lobo, and he just had this like little signed note in there, which I thought was kind of cool. So that's that. Got the McFarlane Monsters Hunchback. Got the Jekyll and Hyde Nintendo game right behind my Jekyll and Hyde Silent Screamers figure. And then Phantom of the Opera point-and-click computer game right behind this Phantom of the Opera model kit. So I thought that was just kind of a neat little way to set that up. I don't know. Got a Freddy Krueger glove. Where's the... Oh yeah, there it is. Jaws Hot Wheel thing. That's a little, what you call it, weekend pass or whatever for a horror convention. There we go. Spooky little skeleton man. We got some more corporate mascot characters. I would love to get more Chuck E. Cheese things. I'm really big into Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know why. Just obsessed. Got Gumby and Pokey hanging out back there. More books that I'll just sort of gloss over. Some Star Wars VHS tapes. I think that was the last time the Unaltered trilogy was released or something. It's hard to keep up with Star Wars stuff. Kind of have a little cryptid corner over here. And a Bigfoot. And a few figures of the Loveland Frog hanging out there. Loveland Frog is a Ohio cryptid, so it's kind of, I guess, like my local home cryptid or whatever, so I kind of look for anything related to that. I think this is a 70s, maybe 80s Lego minifigure. So I really love vintage Lego stuff. I want to get at least one pirate figure. The pirate line was my favorite when I was little, so I'd love just like maybe get like one pirate to put next to him or something. This is probably the last Funko Pop I got, and I may or may not keep that one. I don't know. I don't really care that much. Some McDonald's figures. Got some like the Transformers, Mac Tonight. Love vintage McDonald's stuff. It's just fun. It's warm and cozy. It's a little Mr. Freeze prank ice. That's kind of funny. Got more cryptid stuff here, some plushies. Got Bigfoot and Mothman. Here's a carrying case for the House of a Thousand Corpses figures I showed you. If you get the whole set, you can put them in here. It just looks just like a vintage, kind of like late 80s, early 90s action figure carrying case. Which, I guess that's what appealed to me about it. It's just really cool. It's my little black cat shrine. Obviously, I think it's just standard trashy furry stuff. You have to have a little shrine of your species. So, there you go. Got an Oogie Boogie hanging out up there as well. We're about done with this wall. Some more art that my cousin did. Like I said, she does tattoos and stuff. That is an art print that I bought from some guy at a haunted house thing. They had like little shops where people could sell things. Phantom of the Opera, NECA figure. The figure itself is actually right there. So that's just the box. Ignore that my head is right there, and let's look up here. Okay. Oh, gotta keep the camera plugged in because the battery's dead, but hopefully I can get some decent footage here. That's from the 80s. That is an Otho figure from Beetlejuice in the package. Like I said, I don't get a lot of figures on the card, but love Beetlejuice, so I wanted at least one of those in the box. Beetlejuice Laserdisc hanging right next to it. Yes, I framed a Netflix envelope. I have an absurd amount of nostalgia for that era. Kind of like late 2000s, really. I was really into... I watched a lot of movies for the first time by renting them off Netflix. Like a physical DVD through the mail. So, that's just another weird thing. I'm nostalgic for the Netflix DVDs, which ended up killing off Blockbuster, which ended up killing off mom and pops, which ended up killing drive-ins. It's a long history of one thing kills off the other thing, so whenever people go on like a tangent about like, oh, you're nostalgic for Blockbuster, that evil corporation, just like I get it, okay, just shut the fuck up. Dear God. Making people feel bad for their sentimental memories is ridiculous. Got a actual, like, I assume this is from like either a drive-in or a grindhouse theater, an actual movie poster from like some trashy movie, Nightmare in Wax. It's a terrible movie, but it's a really cool poster. And it's like, that was actually used to advertise the film. That's legit. So I got a fun little poster frame for that. Glued all these things around it. Got some, I think these might be 70s. These little astronauts. I don't know why I bought those. They're just so cute. I love them. This is the Vincent Price Hangman game. Most of the parts are missing. It's just a box for the most part. And even the box is beat to shit. Got some more art here. It's an art print that I bought from a artist I met online. Does some really cool stuff. I'm never sure how much I should like shout out people or not. I don't know if they want that attention or not. I don't know. But this is some sort of Jalo poster. I'm not sure what this is from. This came with like something. Ordered some stuff online and this was like a freebie. Here's a Toxic Avenger drawing. So the frame it's in was all like custom made, but yeah, me and my cousin just ran into this guy at a flea market, and I guess he was like an illustrator or something, and he just drew this picture while we were talking to him, and then he gave it to us. So pretty cool, very kind of eccentric individual, but that was cool. Of course I got this Glare, but that's a Corpse Killer poster. That's a really shitty video game that me and my friend have like some sort of connection with, because he used to have a copy of the actual game, and then we played it and ended up making some sort of goofy video kind of based around it. That's a whole thing. I'll get into that later, but basically we have some history with this stupid game. There, that's better. That's a Halloween prop I'm working on for this year, so just ignore that for right now. Here's another one of those Screamin' model kits. I had to keep Jason down here. I wanted him up there with the other ones, but he falls over too much. He's not very stable. Pop the mask off there. You can see the face. Look at that. Isn't that very cool? Very good detail on that. And once again, I painted this, but yeah, he like right now I got the War of the Worlds Martian here. That's another model kit. Very cool. I think this is a very underrated design for a monster. This is such a cool looking thing, but he's kind of being used to hold Jason up right now. He's like, otherwise I want to build like a wooden base and glue Jason down to it so that way he can stay up by himself. But that's not in the budget right now. He has Machete here. He comes with 3 different weapons. I might do a video on this guy, go in more detail, but the idea was you can use one weapon or the other, and I actually designed it so you can like basically use all 3 and like just slide them in and out. Like, might be a little hard. I don't want to break it right now. But either way, the machete I actually had to make by the original machete it came with was gone, so I had to like trace. There's like they're like these like cardboard pop out things. So I traced where the machete was with another piece of cardboard and was able to make a new one, and it looks pretty good, I think. So that's him. Yeah. I think we're about through with everything here. Here's another Mego figure. In the box, getting a little bit of glare here. There you go. It's a Mole Man. It's a great movie right there. It's like, I don't know a lot about this guy, but he was cheaply acquired. He's like an Oreo mascot of some sort. It's beautiful artwork that my niece did. I love it. I guess this is the last shelf that I really have anything to talk about. This is like my shrine to film. Because I've been getting really, I just love like old technology and stuff, and really love working with film. I got like a Super 8 camera. Not this one. This one doesn't work. I'm trying to get it to work, but currently it's a broken piece of shit. But this is like, oh shit, I don't want to knock anything over. But this is like, oh, well, we got like some films you can put in a projector, and I have been able to watch all of these successfully. There's another, this is like a vacation film from Spain. It's my grandmother, this was hers, she went to Spain at one point. This is like still photography film. I want to get into that. I need a camera that works though. It's like a splicer to cut the film. I have a lot of like unshot, undeveloped film. So it's like this and this. There's different kinds, you know, obviously, but it's all like, none of it's good. It's all expired. But yeah, just really love that. So I thought it'd be really cute to put. A lot of this came from like my grandparents, one or the other. I had a lot of grandparents in my youth, so most of that I acquired for free, just kind of because my other family knew I'm into this stuff, so they're like, yeah, you want this? Sure. So that is my 2024 toy room tour. Definitely got a lot of new stuff since last year. I don't know. I'm going to kind of try and slow down. I got a little carried away last year, and yeah, I need to not do that again. But I'll give you one more quick look around. There'll be some new things for 2025, I'm sure, so we'll see you then. Say bye, Boris.